We're like in the hotel
in the
lobby
pub,
with
right?
people around.
Yeah, well, it's like a tavern. Yeah, there's a drow that has entered. So I guess a few of you have died. Nonetheless, I'll get what I can for those that remain. It's time to go, slaves.
So do you have any kind of like ultimatums or monologues you want to do before we try and kill each other? You just want to jump right in?
If you'll just give me one moment, please.
Yeah, the moment is me shooting the crossbow at her.
A couple of bolts land in her shoulder, and she grabs it and snaps it off, and she says, "That was rude. I asked for a moment."
Yeah, well, you got your moment.
She then starts waving her hands in front of her face, and the tips of each of her fingernails becomes a point of utter blackness, and it seems to cut through the air and create a small window. Looks like reality falls away like a little piece of paper, and you see this sort of twinkling darkness, and then she crosses her arms and looks at it and waits, and eventually disappears, and she goes, "Usually something cool happens when I do that." And then she steps outside of the door and around the bend, so she is now outside of your line of vision on the outside of the bar.
I'm assuming this drow chick is super hot, yes?
Yeah, they're all pretty much all drow chicks are super hot.
Calvinus turns his back to the drow woman. It's time for civil war. And he squares up against, like, Roland and anyone else who will fight the drow. Says to the drow, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Let's do this."
What? Why? What are you talking about? She literally called us slaves and told us to come with her.
I didn't hear that part.
Well, you gotta listen.
That's solid role playing right there.
Yeah. She's super sexy. He thinks, Roland needs some action, honestly. He's really pent up. And
So
he got a hot drow right here.
Alrighty, so Calvinus interposes himself between you and where the drow woman was. Jeff?
Just goes around Calvinus to the door.
Yeah, she's like right outside the door.
Jeff, I guess, is right next to her then. Spiritual weapon, bonus action, summon a ghostly weapon.
You conjure this weapon, the Grim Reaper with a scythe, and it slashes through her, putting a gash. You just knock her hard in the back of the head, and you see this huge like wound and a lot of blood run down, and she stumbles a bit, staggers, and takes a couple more steps, but keeps running. And she's just going, fuck, shit, son of... Calvinus, you can see her now, severely injured.
Okay, bonus action, I'll turn into a dire wolf, and then I will charge and attack her, but with the intent to knock her unconscious, not to kill. He transforms and starts running.
You leap into her, and you think you're going to hit her, but you slam into an invisible barrier instead.
Move his little ghost friend 20 feet. Cast guiding bolt.
Your bolt is not guided. Slams into the wall, and now you have a little glowy wall next to you. Roland, you see her. She's fleeing. She's severely injured.
Jump from this like awning to the next building and chase after her along the rooftops.
Yeah, looks like
Nice.
a quadruple flip gainer with a twist. Your bolt flies out, and it slams into that invisible force field again.
Damn.
She looks back at Jeff, and she looks at herself, and she looks over at Calvinus, and she mumbles a few words and then takes off into the air, flying away 60 feet.
The direwolf is just like, got a wolf.
Oh, the red rocket.
I don't think before I talk as a wolf.
We know.
Or ever. And she's flying off. Calvinus, it's your turn. She's now about 30 feet up in the air and 60 feet away from you.
Cast flaming sphere like on, and again I'm attempting to knock her out and not kill her.
Can't do that with this. You can only do that with melee attacks.
Well, he still thinks he can, so he'll be
Okay.
very surprised once she dies.
Okay. She doesn't die.
Does she fall out of the sky?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then she
What?
dies.
So she dies on impact?
She dies from falling. Yeah,
Nice.
she's flying away, and this flaming sphere lights on fire, and it ignites her robes, and she gets distracted for a moment, trying to put them out as she's being burnt, and she lets her spell lapse and plummets to the ground head first, and you hear a sickening crack as she lands, and she doesn't move after that.
It's almost like a meteor coming back down that's on fire. It's like a smoke trail just
Yeah.
straight into the
Flaming
muddy
meteor.
ground.
Jeff pats Calvinus on the back and says, great job of just brutally killing that person.
Yeah.
possible. I really needed that. Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah, that was really fucked up, Calvinist. Let's go check out the body.
That was my intention.
So she has first of all, she's wearing really nice robes. Her clothing is top notch. She has a staff on her. It doesn't seem to be magical. It just looks like it's very ornate, like it's some sort of ceremonial thing of some sort. It's got spider etching all over it, and it's got this sort of lacy metal filigree that's meant to look like spider webs that runs from top to bottom. You also find on her a few scrolls in a scroll case and a few potions. Yeah, you guys are in an alley, so you're somewhat secluded from the rest of the city, but you're not, in a completely private area. No.
Jeff tells Calvinus, again, really great job on murdering her. Maybe stand guard at the head of the alley, though. Roland and I'll see if she had anything good on her.
She has three potions. One of them is sort of like yellowish and glowing. Another one seems to be like filled with solid stone, and the third is a very, very bright red. And as you open up the scroll case, you notice that there are 3 magical scrolls in there and 1 piece of parchment with like a letter on it and a seal. It looks like of a house insignia of some sort.
Can we tell what the scrolls are for? Or do we need to can we just grab them and then go investigate later?
Yeah, you can't just identify them immediately unless you. I mean, you can roll Arcana to see if you can identify them immediately. So yeah, you don't know what the scrolls are, you don't know what the potions are, but you can spend some time with them to identify them later. And then this sealed letter actually the seal has been broken at this point.
Yeah, Jeff wants to take a look at that.
And as you unroll it, you see that it is a missive, and you see it at the bottom. It's signed by Ilvara. She has put out it's essentially a wanted note for your group. She says she's looking for a furbolg, a drow, a human with a skull mask, a quaggoth, a baby myconid, a kuatoa, 2 deep gnomes or 3 deep gnomes, and a darrow. Jimjar was one of them, and then Topsy and Turvy were the other 2. Yeah.
What's the reward?
There are actually specific instructions, because this letter is written to this woman, not to involve the Duragar in the search, because they will certainly want some sort of reward. It doesn't appear to be any reward at all. It seems like this woman is an employee of Ilvar or something, and this is just what she does, is find either escaped slaves or new slaves for them. Now, it's been made pretty clear in this letter that you guys are not much of a threat, except insofar as you have the numbers.
Cuts off a lock of hair, maybe, to add to his weird collection of specimens that he's collecting. Looks at Roland and says, let's hang on to this, her staff, and her fancy outfit. We can probably sell that because we're basically out of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys make your way into the Duragar city at large. And this city, the city itself, once you get past the sort of public area, it's even more purely utilitarian. Like, it seems as though there was actually some element of design and aesthetics put into the Dark Lake district. I guess the Duragar did have some sense of pleasing their guests. But back here, that is absolutely all gone. It's literally just square boxes. There's no windows in anything. There is a single door. It's all purely utilitarian. The steam and smoke and everything back here is painfully thick, and actually becomes difficult to breathe as you start moving through the area. You very quickly, though, reach a very wide chasm that stretches from end to end throughout the entire city. The chasm itself is a couple hundred feet wide, but there's bridges very, very frequently, sort of almost even crisscrossing each other across. And you can see the cavern goes down a couple hundred feet And there's walkways and ladders and little bridges and all sorts of things all along the sides of these caverns, top to bottom. It looks as though these are basically being utilized as large apartment complexes for the Duergar to live in. But at the far side of this chasm on either end, it appears as though a huge wall has been built blocking off the chasm with a pair of large doors. And there are like some towers on either side of these huge walls, and they look like sort of guard towers that have windows looking into the Duergar side. You can't really see, anything else about them. You've been told that on the other side of these walls is where all the Drow have been forced to live in like little ghettos. So that the west one of these, which is called the West Cleft District, is where you are meant to look for the entrance to the Whirlstone tunnels. As you head to the entrance to the West Cleft District, a pair of Duergar guards greet you there and say, "State your name and business," as you approach the gate.
Roland, you want to flash that fancy badge at him?
I flash the badge. We're working with the local guard, tracking down conspirators against the king.
You may pass, and they step aside.
Yeah, I turn back to them. I was like, man, that feels really fucking good. I don't know why.
Nice.
As the doors open, the first thing that hits you is the stench. All of Gracklestew smells pretty bad because of the just strong sulfur scent coming off of all these furnaces. This even overpowers that, and this is the rank smell of BO. In fact, this is what Bupido smelled like all the time, except now there's like 1,000 of them all concentrated in one area. And it's like this concentrated nastiness that just waves over you. It's almost unbearable. It almost knocks you off your feet. And then as you start to pass through this entranceway, you see that the Drow are truly a disgusting people. The first thing you see is just one just taking a shit right there in the middle of the street. And then there's another one that comes up and scoops the shit up and just starts eating it with a fork and continues on his way. And the entire city is like this: Drow defecating and eating the defecation Drow. There's Drow that are just cutting each other up for no good reason. There's Drow that seem to be haggling for something, but it looks like all they're selling is little bits of trash and broken glass and little pieces of feces. It is just vile.
Vicious mockery.